I've seen all good people now. Another day to be thankful for, that we have woken and that we're here making an effort for self-improvement. Things, because they don't stand still, either they improve or they fall back. So we have a choice. Do you want to get better or do you want to get worse? I mean, yes, there is a third. There's that nothing happens, but the nothing happening is also very temporary and reverts quickly to either a positive or negative. It's not my doing. It's just the way things are. Think about it. It is your own sense of understanding that is important. But all three of them, depending upon what you want to consider, are just as easily tackled. You can be more positive, you can be more negative, or you can hope that things won't change. But it is the nature of our universe, things are changing. So you're fighting all of creation if you think that you can maintain the status quo. It's impossible. Think about it. Thinking about what we're doing is important to know where our foundation is, our basis of thinking, our basis of being, our basis of being in this world. I had a bunch of unusual dreams last night, this morning, and they were filled with a lot of details, and I was just busy going from one thing to the next, and things were very real. The images were, in many ways, genuine, and yet coming from where or from when, I don't know, but I couldn't seem to accomplish what I wanted to, and yet had enough perspective to realize maybe there was something more to this than just searching for a solution. And in both instances, because it was two separate dreams, because after the first one, I looked at the clock and got up for a little bit, and then I went back to sleep. It was 1:30 in the morning, so I went back to sleep like at 2:15. And then it happened again, a completely different subject, but nonetheless filled with an inability to complete what was before me. And again, had the perspective to say, wait a minute, this is craziness, and to wake up and to change. One reason why it is important to continually nurture one's sense of perspective, of possibility, of one's potential. It is even going into your dreams, saying, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Why am I doing this? Why am I in this scenario of being in a troublesome dream? Not a nightmare, but a troublesome dream. Well, I just share that with you. I'm sure that all of us have from time to time dreams we are not satisfied with, that don't bring us a sense of harmony, but more of a dis-ease. So practice helps in this way. Being more prepared for the unusual, right? Being adaptable, being flexible. This is what we're talking about. Being open-minded and being strong within oneself, virtuous. What are we going to nurture if we're not going to nurture our virtues? Our physicality? Okay, of course. We want to be strong. We want to be dynamic. We want to be physically flexible and adaptable. Yes. And also mentally and spiritually too. Well, we need to work on all of these things. Virtue helps us with our mental and our spiritual aspect of these aspirations. Oh, along these lines I'm speaking. Being comfortable in a posture where you feel comfortable, relaxed, calm, gaining a greater sense of ease, a sense of tranquility, a sense of grace, a sense of one's foundation, that you have a lounge chair or a wonderful mattress or a pillow under your head, that you can just take it easy, that you are home. An armchair where you are most comfortable. You can visualize this in whatever posture you are now found. And undisturbed, that we can continue our conversation and not have someone banging on a pot or talking in your ear and disturbing your presence, your focus on what we are doing, which is seeking our self-improvement. Evolution has been going on for somewhere around 14 billion years. Oh, we are being respectful of this and being part of its continuation. Even though we've been around 3 billion years of evolution on this planet, Earth, still, the constituents of the evolution that's began here began 14 billion years ago. You had to have something to make something. So, makes sense, right? Common sense. It didn't just all materialize from nowhere. Sometimes people have a great leap of faith to give themselves a sense of solace and comfort, and understood that this is the way it's been for thousands of years. And again, we need to be adaptable and flexible as we learn more. The world is not flat, but round. And the Earth is not the center of the universe, but just one of many planets around one of trillions of stars in the sky. For instance, if we look at a star in the sky at night, when they are, in quote, brightest, so that we can actually physically see them, being mindful that behind that star there are 1,000 more, or 1,000,000 more, or 1,000,000,000,000 more, if one could look far enough. This is perspective. Understanding that there is a greater depth to what you are looking at than what meets your eye. And so, too, using this example to have a sense when you meet another human being, no matter whom they are, even your own children, your spouse, your family, your brothers and sisters, behind the facade of one's face and one's skin, behind the facade of one's personality, one's being, one's whole physiology, there are 1,000 things, or 1,000,000, or 1,000,000,000,000 things behind that make up what you are seeing, this image that you have before you, that you are visualizing with your eyes, with your capacity to see. There is a greater depth in every you, in every me. Yes, we are all bundles of miracles, but the bundle of miracles have a depth far greater than what we think of or usually conceive, right? Our DNA, even all of the events of just this one day, which holds 86,400 moments, Each one of these moments plays a part in whom we are. Take 10 days, 12 days, and you already have 1,000,000 inputs behind what you're seeing in someone right now. So there's a depth of perception that we should be aware of. We should exhibit a sense of humility about, because everyone has a unique circumstance. No matter what one sees out of their own eyes, hears out of their own ears, feels with their own skin, it is not yours, but another's. We need to be more perceptive of the feelings, the beings, the experiences, the past, in everything that we think of and do. We've been speaking about that a little bit, in that when we meet other people, it is an idea to think of this person as a newborn babe, as a young child, as someone growing older, as the person that you have in front of you is in your view, of course. And as they grow older, in old age, seeing them in this way changes one's perspective immediately. And that's a good thing. It brings a sense of humility and respect, that an understanding that maybe previously we would not share. And I don't mean that in the sense of having a conversation about it, but maybe you will. But inside of one's head, you have a broader perspective of everything. Breathing, pulsing, shimmering in the majesty of one's own creation. This is what we do. You can be aware of this action. These actions are going on all the time during this 86,400 moments, 15 to 20,000 breaths, around 90,000 heartbeats. We have a choice to be as aware as we can or less. It is our choice. One can learn to be more aware, to be more receptive, have a greater perspective on what's going on. This is what we're doing with meditation and mindfulness, mindful meditation. Learning to focus and concentrate, to be aware of life as it truly is, which is far greater than we have, even in our best days, the capability of perceiving. If we perceive 100,000th of the electromagnetic spectrum, it's easy for me to say this. I know some people may get their feathers ruffled when someone says, "What do you mean? I don't see this." Well, you see a little bit. That's all. That's what science says to us, not me. I'm just repeating what I've been told, what I've read. What makes sense? Again, we each need to come to our own conclusions, to be open-minded and to share in a generous and open-minded manner. This is the anticipated and aspired future for mankind, to be mature, to be more mature, and rather than fight and yell and argue, to be understanding, to have empathy and compassion for each other. This is what's going on. This is, in my opinion, a more worthy way. This is the way of the Aquarian age, that we are growing from our childhood into our teenage years or into adulthood. Maybe we can do it more rapidly. Right now, I would say we have some problems we need to overcome. Thinking about what we're doing all day in every way. What you eat, what you drink, what you do, what you think. Everything is important and plays a part in whom you are. Stand firm upon your foundation and plant seeds of virtue in your soul garden to improve. This is the nature of the philosophy of self-improvement, using affirmations of strength, short and sweet. To do this, I am patient, strong, understanding, kind, whatever it may be, objective, hardworking, organized. We all need to plant seeds, and not just once, and not just once in one day, but as often as necessary when something comes to one's mind. Plant. Be wholesome. Plant all day. Be aware. Thrive. Grow. Fortify. Build. A home isn't built with one block. It takes many. Have a great day. Namaste.